Good morning, beautiful humans. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be in this world. I hope that you're having a beautiful moment, a beautiful day, a beautiful experience, a beautiful year so far in 2026. My name is Remington Langston Rodney, and it is an honor to share this space with you. A safe space of remembrance, a safe space to return to your truth, to step into your power. Man, what we're going to be diving into today was probably the most transformative experience I had in 2025 and maybe in my life. One of the biggest fears as human beings is the dark. I know I did. Growing up as a kid, I literally had a nightlight. Sometimes I would go to my mom or dad's room and tug on them, saying I'm scared. But what I learned across 48 hours is that within the deepest depth of darkness is our greatest form of light, our greatest form of power. And I told you guys, from November to December, and maybe even before that, I was really struggling. I was in a nasty loop in my mind. The stress of the year from moving, being away from my partner, starting a new business, building 5 different things at once, finances being at an all-time low, there was a lot of pressure to perform and a lack of space to allow things to come naturally. And so it got to a breaking point where I was like, something needs to change. And that's what led to me doing a dark retreat. Now, a dark retreat is exactly how it sounds. And I first have to give a shout out to my queen for investing in that experience, that healing, so that I could be a better partner for her, a better human for myself, and a better leader for my community, my clients, my family, my friends, everything. Everything changed with that experience, and I'm just blessed. I'm grateful. Now, diving into the dark retreat, let's talk about what it is first, because you understand the why. It's a cycle of pain for me. And at first I was going to go like stay at like a meditation place and kind of do a self-guided, but Elise was like, no, like do something even deeper. And so essentially you're spending all your waking moments or asleep in a pitch black room, like to the point where you can't even see your hand. Someone compared it to confinement. And the guy who organized these from the UK, really, really beautiful human being. His experience, he started with a day, 3 days, and then 7 days. And I guess he kind of got to a point of no mind or just this super awareness of himself, his thoughts, his memories, his experiences. And so you're in a space, a dome basically. You have a bed, he gives you a yoga mat, a chair, you get fed 3 times a day as well too, and there's a bathroom. But you can't see anything that you're doing. And like I said, like a huge fear as human beings is the dark. So I remember when him and I were in there, he turned his flashlight off. And that was the first time I got to experience that depth, and I got scared immediately. I was like, whoa, like I'm about to spend multiple days in here? Like doing what? You know, and he explained to me like there would be moments of challenge, and there 100% were, where the mind wanted to leave that space. But he taught me before I started that journey to anchor into the breath, to breathe. When there is that anxiety, that fear, that doubt, to just anchor into the breath until it stepped away, until you could really feel into it and understand, okay, that's just my mind giving my body a signal that it's in danger when in reality, I'm safe. But over the course of 48 hours, I was able to gain a super level of clarity for myself, my life, maybe the shortcomings that I was experiencing, and what I needed to do next to step deeper into alignment, into truth, into power. And that's where this whole return to truth started. You know, I was really questioning myself, and I often speak out loud to myself as well to organize my thoughts and ideas and speak to God and reflect. But man, that experience was gnarly. The first like hour, I was like, what the fuck am I even doing in here? You know, like, why am I in a pitch black room? It was scary. It was scary. Like, didn't have my phone. I was alone as well too. And so a lot of like fears were coming up around my mom and Elise, as if like, oh, like, are they in danger? Are they safe? What if something happens? That would happen. And I, once again, just had to anchor into my breath, feel the emotions, feel the energy that was coming up. And a lot of memories came up, a lot of uncomfortable memories from my childhood, from my adulthood. And honestly, too, guys, like something I've really struggled with since a kid, maybe a teenager, and maybe you can relate to this, is like pornography, over sexualization. Society is done such a terrible job of making that such a focal pillar in our lives of sex and orgasming and instant gratification. So I was definitely like working through that energy, as that's something that has challenged me a lot throughout my life. Because we kind of reach for those things, for that instant gratification, instant dopamine, just like social media, just like drugs, alcohol. We all have our own vices. And I was able to be in there and just observe that urge and not give into that energy and just be the space where it exists. And that's what it was for all of the uncomfortable thoughts and memories. It was breathing into it and realizing that that's not the present. That's not my future. That's not my past. So it doesn't real. It's not real. But what we can do is create a safe space for that energy to exist. The intention I wrote down in my journal today was feel. Feel the energy. Feel the emotion. Feel into the thought. That is what transmutes that energy into light. We have to create a space for our pain and our trauma and our past experiences that are no longer in alignment to move through our body. Because when we feel it, we can actually release it. But if not, we're just human beings that are walking around with this dark space that's taking up room, that's not allowing the magic, the alignment to truly come through. And so, you know, over the course of the time in that dark retreat, I really was able to identify, like, okay, why am I doing the podcast? I should be anchoring my voice, not amplifying others. Of course, it's great to create a space for other people to share their message, their word, and I've done that throughout my whole life. I'm always giving, and I will continue to give. But if I'm a coach building my own philosophy and beliefs, I should be anchoring into my voice. That became a distraction. Okay, when we leave this space, we're eliminating that. The DJing, I'm not able to get paid to do it here. All right, we will eliminate that. And just like the fact that I was like, I already told you guys, building so many things at once. I was able to simplify myself. I sold all my drones after that as well too. Elise and I minimize our like living space from spending $900 a month to $300 a month. So I can be in this space, this wellness space daily. an anchor into myself. And it was by like the 48-hour mark, and you guys might think this is funny. It got to a point where I was literally playing like rock, paper, scissors, shoot with myself. Just like pure boredom. There's moments when I didn't even have any thoughts, which was really fun. Because that's such a rare state to be in. Like when you're in the darkness and you're not taking anything in visually and it's just you and your mind, that is an experience most people will never have. But I'm telling you guys, if you're able to give yourself the space, and it doesn't have to be darkness, but if you're able to give yourself the stillness and the silence to be with your mind, it is priceless. The transformation that you can undergo, the changes, the impact that that can create on your life is fucking profound. It's life-changing. And ever since I left that room, and I'll tell you, the last moments, I was like, Remy, these should be your focuses once you leave. Coaching, content, and Elise. Doubling down on your partner and your relationship, continuing to strengthen that bond. Elise is my anchor. She's my queen. She's my light. She allows a vulnerable space when I'm feeling pain. She creates a space for me to dream big and to follow that dream and to follow the light in that experience. And so, yeah, like that was the clarity that I stepped into and walked away with. And so after, like at that 48-hour mark, I actually decided like, I don't need to be in this space anymore. The guy that was organizing the dark retreat, he did say like most people want to leave early because they think they've done enough. They need to keep going. My goal wasn't in there to reach enlightenment. That wasn't why I came. To reach a certain level of consciousness. I was really there just to anchor into my clarity and leave from that place and make the changes that I needed to make to be in more harmony, in more flow and more love with my life. And that led to so many different beautiful changes that allow us now to feel more free, more abundant, more rich than ever. You know, and that richness doesn't come from outside of us. It's not from the things we have. It's from how we feel, the community that we're cultivating, and the experiences we're having with each other and nature. So, such a blessing, man. And this will be an experience I'm sure I'll talk about for many videos and such moving forward. But I think the lesson that I've implemented at such a young age is, you know, these areas that are triggers for us, that disconnect us from self, that maybe are deeper than what we can do in our current environment. Invest in your healing. Invest in facing your darkness head on. It's the things that scare us the most that are actually our light, that are actually our power, that are actually our truth, that have the ability to transform our life in such a beautiful way. And it might not be easy, it might not be fun, it might not be the most joyful experience, but that's the yin and the yang of life. To step deeper into our light, we have to be willing to face our darkness. And what you'll find on that other side is just more grace, more peace, more love, more joy. So don't be afraid, because that thought loop in your mind is not your reality. It's just a story trying to keep you in your past. It's a protective system. But you are an infinite being. And as always, if you resonate with anything that I'm sharing in this message today, I would be honored to create a safe space for you to step into your truth, to remember your power, to let go of the pain, the darkness, the stress. And I'm not here to tell you how to live. I'm here to create a safe space for you to step deeper into your alignment. I create one-on-one integration embodiment sessions for beautiful humans like yourself. So thank you for listening. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day and keep shining your light. This world needs it now more than ever. Thank you, and I love you.